Okay, hit it.
And now, Jay Thomas News with breaking news. And when news breaks, we fix it. And now the news with Jay Thomas. And the news, along with Cece McCece and her famous intro, Biff Bunyan with the weather, and Katie Von Crystal Katie with a spotlight on spotlights. And now, with no further delays, interruptions, waiting, or more delays, here is Jay Thomas and breaking, now repaired news. Take it away, Jay.
I'm not sure where to take that. Outstanding, Cece. Again, that was really good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Pam Bondi is out. Mr. Blanche is in. Todd Blanche. More troubling with him, too. There's already troubles with the Todd Blanche. Holy crap. Alrighty. Okay, so Pam Bondi is out. Thank God, because, look, she did some good things. Crime is down across the board. Cities are a lot safer. She's done some good things. However, and she does go back years, almost 20 years, past 2013, let's say 2012. That's a long time with Trump. She went back all those years. She was an early endorser of Trump during the 2016 campaign. She was a defender in the impeachment trials. So she was like one of the top lead defenders. So she also went out there and said the election was rigged, which it was, and we're seeing that now. And there's been a lot of evidence that came out of states, Michigan and Arizona specifically, and nothing's happened. And that's the problem. Let's see. Where is it? I know, Cece, I know. Give me a break. Hold on here for a minute. All right, this is from Fox News. Peter Doocy and America Reports.
Clearly no bad blood and time for a change. What kind of change do you think that might be then? In which direction do you think President Trump might go?
That's a good question. It's obvious that he just wants somebody that he has a more comfortable working relationship with, and he's known Todd Blanche for a long, long time. It's possible that he keeps Todd Blanche on after his time as an acting expires. It's also possible that he looks at Congress. He could also look somewhere else. There are a lot of smart legal minds in this country who President Trump listens to and while he is considering different policy things. But whatever they have planned next, President Trump has assessed that Todd Blanche is the man for the job.
Yeah, for right now. Hold on. Okay, and this is the Peter Doocy cut that
now live from the North Lawn. What do we know now? Hello, Peter.
It's extraordinary. Pam Bondi is actually still on the job as Attorney General. She's down in Florida, I believe, shooting a promo in.
She's shooting a promo. I'll get to that later.
In support of one of the DOJ initiatives. But this morning, as some of these reports were crossing, I called the president and said, what is going on with Pam Bondi? And he explained that he is a fan of hers and that he thinks that she is a good person. He still wants her in the fold. He says now in a job close to the administration in the private sector, but he feels like it is time for a change at the top of the Justice Department. And we've got his Truth Social that they were working on when I talked to him on the phone. It says this: Pam Bondi is a great American patriot and a loyal friend who faithfully served as my Attorney General over the past year. Pam did a tremendous job overseeing a massive crackdown in crime across our country, with murders plummeting to their lowest level since 1900. We love Pam, and she will be transitioning to a much-needed and important job in the private sector to be announced at a date in the near future. And our Deputy Attorney General and very
okay. All right. You know what that transitioning to a much-needed, important new job in the private sector means? It means he's expected to be impeached again when the stupid GOP loses the House, because it looks like they're going to lose. And it's not because the the Democrats are great is because nothing's happening, and nothing's happening because of Pam Bondi, and that's the whole thing. Now, how far back do you think Pam Bondi goes with Trump? Well, 2013. Before 2013, she was running for AG of Florida, and he donated $25,000. They were looking into his Trump University, which, by the way, if you join Trump University because you think you're going to learn something, well, yeah, I'm sorry. It's probably better than a lot of universities out there right now. Try, be 40 years old and get an MBA. See what happens, because nothing's going to happen. You're not going to get a job. So that was that. That was the 2013 scandal. She endorsed Trump very early over Marco Rubio back in 2016. And again, she defended defended him on impeachment. And she has gone after. She's brought this up, the election fraud that we have now. We have some evidence of, in Michigan and Arizona specifically. Where is she? So, and that's the point. Trump was dissatisfied with her performance, according to some people in the House, that in the know, and he was frustrated by her inability. Inability was just, it was like molasses, man, to secure indictments against his foes. Because they're going to do that. The Democrats are going to do that. So I don't want to hear, well, that's illegal. Yeah, screw you. Anyway, here is something that if you go back and you search for what she did, she sounded great. Here's a big headline. Pam Bondi dispatches federal prosecutors to Minnesota following the Somali fraud allegations. That sounds like they're out there doing something. The Department of Justice is dispatching a team of prosecutors to Minnesota to reinforce our U.S. Attorney's Office and to put the perpetrators of this widespread fraud behind bars. Bondi told Fox News on Wednesday. Yeah, that's their problem. Nothing happened. Nobody has been arrested for all that fraud. There's billions of dollars in fraud, and they can't seem to go and arrest some scumbag Somali in this country, who comes into this country, some poor broke sheep herder from Somalia, and all of a sudden he has a taxi company that shuttles these poor waifs to the Leering Center. But the problem is the shuttles never moved out of the parking lot. There's evidence everywhere, and nothing happened. Tim Walz is still sitting there with his smug little look. He hasn't been arrested. What has Pam Bondi done? She's frozen. She froze, and that's why she's out. Good. I've been bitching about this for a little while now. I know I've been saying, what's going on there, President Trump? What's going on? It goes back to Bongino being, what's going on there, Bongino? Why aren't you doing anything? Hey, Kash Patel, why aren't you doing anything? Why is nobody being frog marched out of these Somali Leering centers? But no, we can't have that. So Colin Rugg, and he's with the trending politics people on X. He writes this: Pam Bondi was fired in part because President Trump believed she had tipped off Eric Swalwell. There's a new thing I didn't know. According to the Daily Mail. Well, the Daily Mail. Okay. Trump reportedly believes Bondi had tipped off Swalwell about the FBI's effort to share investigative documents about his relationship with Fang Fang. The FBI was preparing a cache of documents on Swalwell's relationship, and she told him about it. Now, why she would tell Swalwell, I'm taking this with a huge grain of salt, that this is true, but why she would tell Swalwell, you never know. I mean, you got to understand something. Washington, D.C. is just thick with garbage people, but all right, so there's that. That could be true. We can keep an eye on that. And now we have another thing spotted in Palm Beach today. This is December 4th, back in a long time 2024, Trump deputy AG pick Todd Blanche is lunching with CNN's Caitlin Collins. Why? Okay, that's a couple years ago. Caitlin Collins calls you up. You know, she's not too bad looking, and invites you to lunch. She has a few questions. You can answer them or not, or, you know, give your point of view. I don't know. I don't know if that's bad, but it's not good. The AG lunching with Collins, and then of course there was the Epstein file gobbledygook. All right, and here's the point: is that Bondi never came out and said, "I misspoke. I meant to say this when I said this." However, we're getting to all this. Instead, she said that she had the Epstein files on her desk and they're going to be released tomorrow. And then she had a bunch of podcasters come up and she gave them, like, I don't know, the same garbage that's already been out there, and it blew up in her face. All this junk blows up in her face. It's just, it is what it is. She needed to go because I think she was just stuck. Things were moving at the speed of molasses, and it's a year and a half now into Trump's administration again. A year and a half, and nothing has moved. Nothing has moved on the J6 skullduggery for the people who are arrested and over-prosecuted and held in prison for walking by the Capitol building. Nothing has happened there. She didn't do anything with the judges who did that. She didn't do anything with she's not doing anything with the Somali fraud. Tim Walz is laughing in her face. Tim Walz is laughing at Trump. That's something you don't do. You don't allow that to happen. So what has she done that the election fraud, the fraud in SNAP, the fraud, and the only I can really see is, like, there's one white lady who's in Minnesota who went to jail for like $247 million worth of fraud, which is great. Okay, nobody else has. There's no other fraud. She's moving. She was just stuck. It's like she didn't. It looks like she was just sitting there, staring at all this stuff, and she said, "I'm," went and just couldn't move because she couldn't believe what she was looking at. But this is. I'm going to tell you something. I think Lee Zeldin's going to get it. He's going to get the job because guess what he does? He quietly goes about his work. The other thing that she's down in Florida shooting a promotion. That encapsulates the whole problem. Pam Bondi had a guest shot chair on Fox News and would come on and say the great things are happening, and everybody would go out. Even me, I was like, "Wow, this is great." Okay, she's really getting up. Nothing happened after that. Nothing happened. So, they weren't pleased with her. They weren't pleased with her performance on those subjects, and those are important subjects. You don't have the time now. I don't think they have the time. If they start going down, they arrest Tim Walz and his wife. When they start cracking down, they go into Chicago and arrest that stupid mayor for civil rights infractions, not protecting his. You could do that. Go in there and arrest him and tell him you have not defended the civil rights of your citizens. You can do that. Pam Bondi wasn't doing anything, and I'm glad she's gone. Let's see what Lee Zeldin. Remember, who was remember Jeff Sessions? Remember him? Remember how he was going to be the toughest attorney general, and he just became a bowl of Jello. I had to cough, so I had to stop. I had to stop and go and cough. I don't have a cough button, so I'm glad that she's gone. Again, she did some good things, but she did not do the things she said she was going to do, and that's sad. So let's just hope all this other garbage isn't true. This stuff about her giving Swalwell a heads up. That's just ridiculous. I don't believe it, but we'll see. We will see. It could turn out to be true. Okay, I'm gonna get going. I want you to stick around. This is a quick Pam Bondi update. We're gonna be doing other things about Oklahoma and about the our own Leering Center called the Harbor. It's a low barrier shelter for we're gonna be on that low barrier shelter for people who. I have this tip from a lady that I know that lives up there that happened to her a couple years ago. Wait till you read this story. I'll be back. Don't go Pam Bondi on me. What time is it? I got my dark MAGA shirt on. That's for her being tanned. And I spilled coffee on it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cece. All right. Have a good day. We'll be back.